China enters a new era under Supreme Leader Xi Jinping and his tight band of assistants. What's next for the world's number 2 power? Within minutes of Xi Jinping's leadership team announcement last month, Hong Kong's stock market plummeted to a 13-year low. Why the lack in confidence? Today, I'll look at 3 indicators that explain the high anxiety. Before the 20th Congress, some speculated, including myself, that Xi might relax his zero-COVID policy once he secured his 3rd term. The thought was that he was using the crushing policy to test allegiance and further beat down rivals ahead of the Congress. Well, at least for now, we were wrong. 2 men in Xi's top leadership team got the job because of their relentless execution of the zero-COVID policy, and their appointments sent a strong message about promotion criteria across the country. Almost before applauses in the Great Hall of the People died down, a new wave of lockdown measures were implemented. Take a look at this department store in Nanjing City. As a fire burned, right across the street, a long line of residents waited for mandatory COVID tests. And that's because without a precious green code on their phone's health tracking app, they can't enter grocery stores, they can't go to work, they can't even use public transportation. As COVID lockdowns continue, so does the tragic fallout. Food shortages, forced quarantines, lack of health care, small business failures. These are desperate times, and they breed desperate measures. This mass protest on November 14th in Guangzhou City turned violent. Social media said it was triggered by the death of a pregnant woman and her unborn baby. And that's because COVID policy didn't allow her to travel to the hospital to deliver the child. And just days ago, one of the largest iPhone-producing factories in China also saw violent protests. This was after nearly 2 weeks of lockdown, workers quitting, and the government enticing retirees with triple bonuses to fill the positions. Similar scenes have played out all across the country in just this past month. Frustration among the younger generation has thankfully taken a milder form. Walk through any Chinese college campus today and you'll be hard-pressed not to find one of these handcrafted items. The students hang them in windows, they trade them, they even walk them around campus like they're real animals. These cardboard pets are all the rage because they're connected with the frustration of unpredictable lockdowns. And here's another trend among college students: crawling around at night on hands and knees. It's a part of the lockdown campus craze, a social media theme that's led to its own category of bizarre. Lockdowns being lifted sometimes presents a different problem on campuses: a mass exodus of students hungry for freedom. So between violent protests and creative student outbursts, unhappiness and a general resistance to zero-COVID policies are shaping society with high anxiety. Amidst crushing zero-COVID policy in the last year, a glimmer of hope was Li Keqiang, who advocated for economic recovery. But his ouster last month has dimmed hope. Some closer to power and money may be a bellwether for what is to come. There's been an uptick of the rich and famous leaving China, among them NBA star Yao Ming. In August, he sold all of his assets in China, gave up his government position, and he moved his family to Houston. 2 of China's most famous movie directors, Feng Xiaogang and Zhang Yimou, are also said to be preparing for emigration to the United States. In response to this uptick, Xi's team has taken action. Multiple emigration service companies received orders in November to delete emigration-related posts on social media. It's too early to tell if these orders mean that China will close its door on emigration altogether, but there are other signs that China is moving towards a closed economy. Chairman Xi has pledged to regulate the wealth in pursuit of common prosperity. These two buzz phrases carry an ugly legacy. Past communist campaigns for common prosperity came with killings and confiscation of personal property. More recent efforts include billion-dollar fines or forced donations on tech leaders. The real estate industry was just met with crippling regulation on borrowing. These moves sent shockwaves through the industries, resulting in massive tech layoffs and real estate bankruptcies. The questions among the rich and powerful are certainly, who are the next victims and how can I escape? Another sign of a planned economy shift is the reestablishment of supply and marketing co-ops. This is a Mao Zedong-era throwback, a wholly state-run economy with set pricing, set supply lines, vouchers for rice, meat, and other essentials. It's this type of system that starved tens of millions under Mao Zedong. The opening of the market in the late 70s saw this system dissolved, but 1,000 have been recently established, with more on the way. All of them are headed by Wang Huining, one of Xi's newest picks. He is an expert on Maoist-era economic planning and people control. Many speculate that the great benefit of such a backwards economic shift is that it will better prepare China for a world war. If global supply lines and financial markets are in ruin across the globe, and China, meanwhile, is humming along in a state-planned economy, they'll be relatively better off than the other countries. These are some of the new developments we're seeing since China's new leadership was announced a month ago. Expect to see more economic policy shifts, military actions surrounding the South Pacific and Taiwan, and continued political drama as Xi tries to further clear suspected internal enemies. China may be in for some turbulent times ahead. Thanks for watching Eye on China. I'm Liam O'Neill, and we'll see you next time.